welcome everyone to the third round of the 2013 GP4 Offline Championship. I'm your host for today, George Oak, and welcome to the Shanghai International Circuit for the third race of the season, the second race of the season, won last week by Mikhail Skau, just beating George Roke in a thrilling last end to the race, with Waze Kuba winning the first race in Australia. So it's a Ferrari winning the first race, Red Bull winning the second race. Which car is going to win the third race? So we are here at the Shanghai International Circuit, Grand Prix China, 16 corners, the track record held by Florian Volker. The race rating was given only a 5.8 in last season, 56 laps. This should be an interesting race. Let's go on for a quick lap of the circuit. So we come around into the long turn 1 and then into turn 2. And as we look through turn 2 and turn 3, we look at what happened in 2010 on a collision between Waze Kuba and Joseph Willows, which took both the drivers out of that race in 2010. As we now head further down the circuit, we head towards turn 5, and this is a notable hotspot on the track where there is always, and I mean always, incidents on the first lap here, pretty much every single season. As we now come down towards the back straight, heading towards the hairpin, the longest straight on the circuit, and heading towards the hairpin, turn 14, where Joseph Willows was involved in an incident last year, which, as you can see, held up a lot of the field, got away with damage, but still affected his race. And the tyre compound that we will use for the Grand Prix will be the soft compound. The driver of the day for the Malaysian Grand Prix was Will Neller. Not really a surprise there. I had a feeling he'd probably get that. And the race was given a 8 out of 10. So now here we are going to look at the starting grid for the race. It is a Lotus front row with Will Neller taking his first pole position on his return, with Robert Ionescu, his teammate, alongside him in second. Waze Kuba for Ferrari in third, with Jay McKenzie in fourth place. Fifth place is Mikhail Skau, followed by Viggo Holst in sixth. 2 retirements so far. It's not been a good start to the season for him. Joseph Willows in seventh, followed by Florian Volker in 8th position. On the 5th row of the grid is KIROSHIMA DIROSSA, another good qualifier from him, and Amar Khan, Force India in 10th. On the 6th row of the grid is Vedran Vedrina and George Roke for McLaren and Mercedes respectively. 13th is Oliver Glazebrook, and 14th is Rivki Harkrazane. 15th place is Franco Gamba, followed by Zachary Fitzwater in 16th position. Move on to the 9th row of the grid is Lucas Levi and William Duncan for Toro Rosso and Russia respectively. On row 10 is Roland Moitian and David Greenwood for Williams and Russia. And on the final row of the grid is Rick Yan and Roman Quark, disappointing qualifying from him, qualifying in last position. But now we are going to head to have a look at the weather. And as you can see, it will be bright sunshine once again, no rain during the race. So this should be very interesting to see what happens as we have that run towards turn 1 and what happens into turn 5. So we are now going to head onto the grid right about now. There we go. And now we are now on the grid. It is Neller on pole, Ionescu in second place. Who is going to get the jump into the first corner? The lights are now coming on. We now have 3 lights, 4 lights, and now 5 lights. And we're underway for the Chinese Grand Prix. And who's going to get the start? Ionescu's got a much better start than Neller, and he's going to jump him into the first corner. What a start by the Romanian driver. And Neller's in second. And what a start by Ionescu. He takes the lead, and Neller could be overtaken here by Mikhail Skau if he's not careful. Coming round turn 2, now into turn 3, and I think Gallo's got past him, and yes he has. Neller's dropped down to third, not the start he would have wanted at all. Ionescu takes the lead, a brilliant start. He's yet to win a race in the OC, and this could be his best chance to do so as they head towards the infamous turn 5. All the front runners get through it easily, and they do. Kuba in fourth, McKenzie fifth, Holst second, and the cars going through there. Rogan 11th, Glazebrook as we're looking through, and I think there's been a and there has been contact. What a surprise. There's been a crash, and oh my word, and that is David Greenwood, who is out of the race at turn 5, and we did say what would happen at that corner, and it's happened again. And oh, and Greenwood got absolutely shafted up the back by Roman Quark there, and somehow Lucas Levi didn't get any damage in front. We can see Quark running in last place, just careers into the back of the Englishman, and he goes into the back of the Singaporean Lucas Levi, and somehow Levi does not get any damage, and I believe he hit the caisson of Rick Yan up front, I believe, as well, I think. And somehow Rick Yan's got away without any damage. His car is the Terminator boy. And let's have a look on board from Rick Yan's point of view, coming up into turn 5. And did he get hit by Levi? And no, he hit the Toro Rosso William Duncan ahead, and he actually did get hit from behind by Levi. And actually, Duncan went into Zachary Fitzwater, Jan's teammate, and then Jan and Duncan collided with each other there. Forcing the collide, and then obviously Quag went into the back of Levi, who in turn also went into the back of Rick Jan there. And as I said, he somehow got no damage from that, so he's certainly very lucky, is Lucas Levi. And here's Inescu leading from Gal in second place, and they already seem to have a gap compared to the rest of the field. Nella, and he has, although Nella is probably the reason why he's got a very heavy fuel load, 37 laps of fuel, so it looks like he's going to be going on the one-stop strategy today. And now the yellow flag has come out what happened in turn 5, as obviously David Green's car is going to be moved away. As we're looking at what he's going to come on the straight. And oh, Franco Gamba's had a collision, he's out the race. Oh, and Ricky Farquharson in the Force India as well. Another 2 cars out, coming onto the back straight. And what on earth has happened here? Let's go on board with Franco Gamba, the Italian driver for Toro Rosso. Did he go into the back? I think he is behind Farquharson, so did he go into the back of him? And oh no, he got hit from behind. He got hit by Zachary Fitzwater in the Caterham. So both Caterhams get involved in collisions on the first lap. And Fitzwater just going way too fast, never really got the car slowed down. He crashed into Gamba, who in turn crashed into Ricky Harkazane. Both of them really innocent parties. Not a good drive, not good driving, I should say, from Zachary Fitzwater there. As there's Harkazane's car out the race, and Frank Gamba's with the Dixon button helmet on there. He is out the race as well. But here's Inescu leading, and now Nella's on, oh, Mackenzie's on the inside of Kuba. I thought Kuba was on the inside of Nella there, but Mackenzie's on the inside of Kuba coming into turn 14, and he makes it stick. And now Willows is on the inside of Viggo Holstein and McLaren, and he makes it stick up into 6th position, as Roke, I believe, is just making a move on the Force India of Armar Car. And has he got it stuck? And yes, he has. He's got it past him. I can't even get my words out now. And now here's Oliver Glazebrook, who's right behind Vadrina and Armar Car. They've both got bad runs out the corner. And Glazebrook's right behind Car. He's going to go past Vadrina. Is he going to go past Armar Car as well, coming into the first corner? And yes, he does. That's a great move there from Oliver Glazebrook. He moves up into 11th position. Pretty much mugs, really, Vadrina and Car, though. Both got bad runs, especially Car got a bad run out of the final corner, as he had to give up the position to George Roke, and they both got bad runs. Vadrina tried to go around the outside, but Glazebrook had the run on them, and he had the slipstream, and Vadrina obviously had already got overtaken, but Carl was not expecting Glazebrook to come around the inside. That's a good move there by the Englishman, showing his talents outside the car. And oh, and actually George Roke actually locked up a bit coming into turn 2. Unfortunately got away with it there, but now here come all the cars into the pits. So Nicholas Gower is 2nd. If you look at the rest of the order, Williams is 6th, Austin 7th. And we're looking at a replay. So here is Rick Jan, William Duncan and all. Rick Jan is having to stack behind his teammate, obviously Zachary Fitzwater, who got involved in that first lap collision. And he's kind of blocked Duncan in here, and old Duncan goes into the back of Rick Jan, and oh, he loses a wheel, does Rick Jan, coming out the pits there as Duncan was trying to rejoin. Oh dear me, and that's not great driving. I suppose he didn't really have a choice there, did Jan, but I guess he probably didn't realise that maybe Duncan was coming in the pits as well. But I mean, unfortunately, just as Duncan had come out behind Rick Jan, Zachary Fitzwater was actually just coming out of his pit stall. And unfortunately, it's just not all worked out well for all parties involved. And as Duncan goes through the car, then unfortunately it just collects the rear left wheel of Jan as he goes into his pit stall. So I believe they could probably get that repaired. They can in this game, as he's actually into his pit stall. But now Jan's going to have to wait for his for the mechanics to now come out, and now they do. And I imagine they will change that tyre that is missing as the team all come out. And finally the team now lift the car up. They get rid of the wing and they put a new one on. Yep, they've got the new tyres, so Rick Jan is still going to be in this race somehow. But they put a new rear wing on, which you can in this game. But Zachary Fitzwater now rejoined the 16th position, as William Duncan rejoined the 17th. But we're looking at the order, so Mackenzie's now closing up behind Brunello's. Nicholas Gower and Inescu up in front have got away from the rest of the pack, as Inescu sets the fastest lap of the race there, 1:33.6. And here is Viggo Holstein in 7th, with DIROSSA in 9th, Roke in 10th. looking through the orders. Virginia's actually got past Glazebrook actually into 11th position, so he's got back past the Englishman there. Now Mackenzie, who's right behind Wilnella here as they're coming towards turn 5. I don't think he's going to be quite close enough to make a move stick here. Here's Volker, who's right on the backside of Viggo Holst, the reigning champion in the McLaren. So coming through turn 5, and Volker's got a much better run through that corner. He certainly could attack Holst soon. He's going to have the fixing. He's not going to be able to do it right now. But Jay Mackenzie is right behind Wilnella as they're coming through the double left-hander, coming through turn 10. And as they come through, is Mackenzie going to make a move coming into the left-hander before the back straight? The answer is no. Wilnella defends the inside line. He now comes through the first right-hander, now coming through the long right-hand, turn 13, and now coming on to the back straight. And is Mackenzie going to have this move? He's got the slipstream. Surely he's going to try and make a move on the inside. He's got the slipstream. He now is on the inside. Nella's pretty much defenseless right now. We've got a heavy fuel load, and I imagine Mackenzie's probably got a lighter one. And Mackenzie's on the inside, coming into the hairpin, and he's got it done. He's up into the podium position. Is Mackenzie the Polish driver? He's looking at Viggo Holst. He's made contact with Volker, and Volker has pushed him wide. And Holst is going to lose positions to DIROSSA, and I believe to Roke as well. As we're going to look at the onboard from Volker's car, I mean, you can just unfortunately see that coming. And I mean, Volker didn't really have anywhere to go. There was lucky there wasn't any damage between the two, but Volker managed to make the move into 7th place. But DIROSSA's made it through. Roke has got through past Virginia as well. So he's dropped down to 10th position. He's now got his teammate Virginia behind him in 11th. But that is not the move and not the start of the season that Viggo Holst really would have wanted right now. It's just not been the start he really wished for. As we're now looking at the the Mercedes, I should say, of George Roke making a move on the inside of DIROSSA, coming into the hairpin. Has he made it stick? I think they're still side by side. DIROSSA's got a better run through the hairpin as they come through into turn 16, but is Roke going to hold the outside? And yes, he does, and he moves up into 8th position. And now Viggo Holst could make a move on DIROSSA, as he's got a bad exit out of the final corner. Will he make a move? I don't think he's quite close enough. He'll have the slipstream, but he's not going to be close enough. And now the two McLarens, Virginia and Holst, are behind each other again. Be careful, boys. Remember what happened last time out in Malaysia. We need to be careful here as they come through. As Holst goes a little bit wide. Virginia's clearly the faster car. Holst obviously probably got a bit affected by that collision he had. As now Virginia is making a move on the inside. Holst really not making it too easy for him, and they fortunately have avoided contact as Virginia moves up into 10th place, the last points position. So Holst has got a pretty heavy fuel load as well. As now here we are looking at Virginia, who's closed up onto the back of DIROSSA, and is he going to make a move on the straight? He's alongside, but Sauber I think just slightly edging ahead, so I think Virginia will try and tuck back into the slipstream, or is he still alongside? No, he's not. He's going to get a little bit of slipstream, and now he's going to make a move into the hairpin, into turn 14, and he makes it stick. Oh, has he? As DIROSSA's still holding it around the outside. Is he going to have enough speed to take it into the final corner? No, he backs out, and Virginia takes the position. He is up into the 9th, and now here is Joseph Willows, who's attacking the Lotus of Wilnella, who's obviously struggling on that heavy fuel load. It's not exactly working particularly well for him right now. Willows does make the move into P5, so Wilnella from pole position in 12 laps has gone down to 6th. Not the start that he would have wanted after his first pole position since returning to the series after a 2-year absence. As Nella's now already dropping behind Joseph Willows coming down the straight. And now here is the McLaren of, I believe this is Virginia, who's right behind the Force India of Armagh car as they come into turn 5. So Virginia, I think, obviously has made a pit stop, which cameras haven't caught. He's now coming through right behind car. He's surely not going to make a move coming into turn 6. And he's still got the slipstream. He's really close behind him, and he can't make the move stick here. As now Ionescu, who's got a comfortable lead at the moment over Nicholas Gow in 2nd, Mackenzie 3rd, Kuba in 4th, and Joseph Wills completing top 5. In 5th position, as now Virginia is surely going to make a move on car coming into the left-hander. Car's really not making it easy for him, and he made it stick, not quite. And is he going to hold it around the outside though, Virginia? He is, and he is going to go around the outside of car. That's a fantastic move by the Croatian, but I suppose it does help in the fact that he does have fresher tyres. And now the race leader, Robert Ionescu, comes into the pits for his first stop. And let's see what the pit stop will be for the Lotus team. How much fuel they're going to put in? They're going to put in 28 laps, so
for the first gear.
it's a fairly long stint, so I think they're going to be going for the 2-stop our Lotus. So Nicholas Gow now takes the temporary lead. Ionescu drops down to third position, now to 4th. Will he drop any more places? No, the answer is not. He comes out in 4th, comes out ahead, just ahead of the Ferrari of Joseph Willows. There's now Nella attacking the Red Bull there, Volker, who's actually overtaken Nella down the back straight, so that is why he's trying to overtake him back. He's been overtaken by the Red Bull there of Volker. As we look at the replay coming onto the straight, so Volker was already alongside Nella, struggling on that heavy fuel load, and his tyres probably aren't particularly helping in this instance really with this heavy fuel load. As he comes down the straight, Nella just not really bother defending, and Volker, oh wow, that was really close to being a collision there, my goodness. But they get away with it. And then I did also maybe trying to overtake him coming into the final corner of the 10-16, but he can't quite do it. Now Robert Ionescu caught up to the back of Jay McKenzie, who is yet to stop this race. He's now on the inside. McKenzie not exactly making it easy for him. Ionescu is not quite alongside. I think I'll have to tuck back in and probably get a little bit of the slipstream, and then I'll overtake him coming into the hairpin. Or will he still? He's staying on that side. He's still going to make the move into the hairpin. Yes, he does. He brakes quite late, but he just gets the car stopped in time. He overtakes him for 2nd place, so now the leader, next car in front of him is Nicholas Gow, who is yet, I believe, to have made a stop. Now McKenzie unfortunately loses a lot of ground as he tried to attack him back, as now his teammates, speaking of Mercedes, George Roque comes in for his first stop of the race. And let's see how quickly it will be for the British driver. Took a second last time out, just missed out on the win narrowly after Nicholas Gow overtook him with a few laps to go. It was a fascinating race in Malaysia, so far China has been fairly interesting, not the best of races, although it isn't always great here at Shanghai. But anyway, Roque comes out of the pits, comes out in P10, so he does come out crucially ahead of Vadrina, and he stays in the points in 10th position. And now he's got Oliver Glazebrook in front of him in 9th, who's already caught up to on the fresher tyres, and he's going to be alongside. If he Glazebrook, he doesn't get a particularly good run out the corner, so he's probably going to tuck back in, get some of these slipstream. And oh, hang on a minute, no, he's not, because Vadrina has just gone around the outside and swapped down the inside of Oliver Glazebrook, and he's going to take both positions there. Oh my goodness me, I did not see that coming at all. Vadrina just suddenly came out of absolutely nowhere, like dynamo there, and he's overtaken both cars. Oh my goodness me, I need to see that again. So Roque was attacking Glazebrook, who really defended. He tried to go on the inside there, but Glazebrook defended the inside quite sternly. And Vadrina, who was right behind, just obviously got the slipstream off of the cars in front of him, and just swept through really nicely. Nicely there, it's on the board from his view. So he had the slipstream of Glazebrook. Roque obviously didn't really realise that Vadrina was coming, and he did try and move over, but he realised he was there, and then Vadrina just, who had so much speed coming off that corner, just alongside Glazebrook, managed to get past both up into P9. Good work there by the Croatian driver, really showing his talents in that McLaren. As now we look at the race leader, Nicholas Gow, coming in for his first stop of the race. Ionescu actually already has gone past him into the lead, so he's going to have quite a significant lead as Ionescu. So this has worked out quite well for him so far, as the pace of that Lotus seems really, really good right now. Nicholas Gow comes in, and how quick will the stop be for him? It will be a 6-second stop, and let's see where he comes out onto the track. And the answer is, so he's dropped down to P6. Will he come out actually ahead of Ionescu's teammate? And the answer is no, he doesn't. He comes out actually behind Will Nella, so he'll need to get past him as soon as possible if he wants to have any hope keeping up with Robert Ionescu to have a chance of winning this race, because right now it looks pretty slim. Now here we are looking at the Lotus of, I believe, is this Zachary Fitzwater who's attacking Roman Clark? I believe it is, and yes it is, because Rick Young is behind. So Fitzwater going to attack Roman Clark coming onto the back straight. He's going to have the slipstream of the Williams, whose car is pretty terrible so far. It's not really shown much pace at all. And Fitzwater's just about alongside, can't quite do it, so I think Fitzwater will probably get back in the slipstream and then overtake him. Now he's alongside Quag, really not making it very easy at all. Fitzwater on the inside, he's got to stay. Oh, and there's contact, and Quag's car goes up in the air, and fortunately escapes without any damage, and Fitzwater does make the move stick. Well, certainly didn't make it very easy for Fitzwater there. Unfortunately, as I said, no damage was done, despite Quag's car being lifted fairly significantly into the air. As we have a look here, and right there was the contact which lifted the Williams up into the air. I mean, that is quite high up. I'm surprised there was no damage there to either car, especially to Quag's, but they got away with it. They continue on with the day. If Quag did have damage there, it would have pretty much summed up his race. He's got really no chance of points, and that would have really finished him off right there. Now Miguel Scout is attacking the Lotus of Will Miller coming into the hairpin, and Gal does make the stick on fresher tyres. Now there's still got another 15 laps or so before he pits, so he's still got a long way to go. Now here we are looking at Nello, who's already dropping quite far behind Gal, although Gal does obviously have the fresher tyres. Now here is Viggo Holst, who's being overtaken by George Rope coming into... Oh no, Viggo Holst has got a problem, I think. Unless he's been hit, but I think he has got a problem. And yes, he does. It's a transmission failure for Viggo Holst, and that is 3 retirements out of 3. A nightmare start to the season for the reigning champion. Oh my word. This has been a horrendous start to Viggo Holst's title defence, and I think it might already be over. I mean, it's going to be difficult to recover after that. So we're looking on board. So we have the Mercedes of George Roach, who is right behind him and actually is alongside him coming down the straight, and that's actually when the transmission problem took place, just as he was coming into the hairpin there. And unfortunately, Viggo Holst had to pull his car off, and that was his race done for the day. Unfortunately for the McLaren, as his car pulls off and goes into the Rolex sign, Marshall pushing it away in front of the crowd right there. And that is his race finished. And now here we are, got a battle between between William Duncan, I should say, Lucas Levi and Roland Moitian, and Levi's on the inside. He's going to try and make a move on, and oh, and hang on, was that a yellow flag there? Levi may have overtaken Duncan under a yellow flag there, and the yellow flag actually went off the graphic, but it was still out, and he was not past him there, but there was the yellow flag, and he definitely was past Duncan before the yellow flag, because they're on the graphic right there. The yellow flag went, but the marshal was still out waving it, so I think it's safe to say that I think Levi did overtake him under yellow flags there. So I wonder if he'll get a penalty for that or not, and Duncan will probably want that position back, as he's now right behind him on to the front straight, and he's now just about alongside, and now Duncan is going to get the position back, so he's alongside him. Surely Duncan's got this move sewn up, and the answer is yes, he does. And Levi's got a bit wide, so that could leave the door open for Roland Moitian in the Williams, and he does make it stick. So unfortunately for Levi, he's lost 2 positions there. As we're now looking at the Red Bull of, I believe this is Nicolas Gow, I should say, on the back of Joseph Willows, coming onto the front straight, and he's going to make a move into the hairpin into turn 14, and he does make it stick, so that is another position up for Nicolas Gow. He's now back into second, but he's still well behind Robert Ionescu in the Lotus, who's got a fairly significant gap ahead of him up front. Joseph Willows now comes in the pits. Excuse me. And let's see how quick the stop will be for the Ferrari team. As he comes into the pit. Excuse me.
Okay, no pressure.
And let's see how quick his stop will be. 5.4 second stops. That's fairly quick, I have to say. And he comes out of the pits. Where is he going to come out? Will be interesting to know. We won't find out, as we're looking at a battle for ninth place between Vedra Vedrina and KIROSHIMA DIROSSA and the McLarens. The Sauers love to battle with the McLarens and the Mercedes so far this season. It has been entertaining for sure. As now Vedrina makes a move on the inside of DIROSSA into the hairpin, and he moves up into that position. Here is Nicolas Gow, who's currently running second place, as there's Ionescu up front in P1. As now William Duncan is alongside Lucas Levi. These two still battling it out. And let's see if he has the move done, and yes it is, and Levi's on the inside, and oh, he just punts William Duncan around there coming into the hairpin. Duncan will not be happy about that at all. Duncan thought he had the move sewn up, and then Levi just kind of hit him there, and wow, that was not what William Duncan wanted at all. He was looking on the inside, so Duncan thought he had the move stick, and Levi just thought he'd hold it around the inside, and boop, there it was. There was the contact. And Levi was, I should say Duncan was spun around, and Levi might get himself into a lot more trouble with Duncan after the race. He's certainly not going to be in his good books, or in Toro Rosso's good books anyway. Now Florian Volker comes in for his pit stop for Red Bull. And let's see how quick the stop will be for the Red Bull driver. It is a 5.5 second stop. Where is he going to come out on track will be interesting to see. And so he's in P7 at the moment. George Roque in the Mercedes behind him in P8, but Volvo does come out in P7, does come out in clear air. As now Will Neller finally comes in for his first stop of the Grand Prix. It has been a while he's been out on track, and unfortunately for now it hasn't really worked out particularly well in his favour. So Will Neller pits, and where will he come out on track? He's already dropped down to P7. He could drop down further, although I think other cars will have to pit once more before the end, so he'll probably gain a couple more back. 6 seconds, he'll be fueled to the end of the race, but for Neller, the one stop has not really worked out in his favour. And he comes out, it's P7 at the moment, and it looks like it will stay P7, and yes it will, because actually George Roque has come into the pits for Mercedes. Now Oliver Glazebrook is passing DIROSSA, his teammate, into the hairpin. He's up into the last point spot, into 10th position. And Glazebrook will be pitting in a few laps' time. And let's have a look at him passing DIROSSA, coming on to the back straight. And he's alongside him there. And he is alongside him, so I think he's probably going to stay alongside. DIROSSA's trying to edge in front, but they're still side by side just about. And Glazebrook had just enough to stay on the inside. And that was his move complete. So he's moved into the last point spot, into 10th position. As they're coming now through the hairpin. Coming through the final corner. So now we're looking at Waze Kubert, who is making, I believe, his final stop of the race. We haven't seen much of him so far, and 22 laps.
No pressure.
Yep, that will be enough. That will go to lap 60, so he will make it to the end. We haven't really seen much of Kubert, as I said. He's been fairly quiet this race, not done anything spectacular, but not done anything bad either. Will Neller is now in 7th place, and that's probably where he's going to finish at the moment, unless there's any other failures in front. But he comes across the line, a very lonely 6th place, a very lonely 7th, I should say, right now. And there's Graham Quagg in the pits. There's McKenzie right now in P3, but he's going to have the pits. Nicholas Gao now pits for his final stop of the race. Inescu's already gone way past him. And he now comes out of his pit box. 5.7 second stop for the Hungarian driver. And where will he come back out onto the track? He comes out behind his teammate Volker in P5. And now Robert Ionescu makes his final stop for Lotus. And let's see where he will come back on track. I imagine he'll come out, he's got 22 seconds gap, so I think that might be enough to possibly get ahead of McKenzie as well. But McKenzie will have to obviously pit. But right now it's looking pretty good for Ionescu. He's had a flawless race so far, had no problems or issues whatsoever. Took the lead at the start, and he hasn't really ever looked back. And he now comes back out of his pit box, and I don't know if he came out the lead or not, I'm not sure. Now here is a battle for P3 between Josie Willows and the two Red Bulls. Now Gao is alongside, now trying to overtake. I know it's Volker, sorry, that's alongside. Gao right behind, looking to pick up the pieces in case anything happens. Here's Gao right behind. He's not going to bother making a move. I think he's just going to stay behind Volker. Tries to make a move. He's right behind him, but they can't get past Willows coming into the hairpin. Not really going to help Nicolas Gao's race so far, but I don't think even if he gets past these two, he's going to be able to catch Ionescu in time. He's been definitely by far the fastest car on the track. But Volker's now right behind Willows, and he's going to try and overtake him coming into the first corner. Volker is alongside Willows. Is he going to have it in the first corner? And yes, he does. He goes up into P3. Willows goes a bit wide, and that could open the door, possibly for Gao to get past, and can't quite do it. Coming through turn 3 and 4, now heading towards turn 5. And is he going to make a move into turn 5? Is Gao is right behind Willows. Could make a move, and is he going to try it? No, the answer is he won't. And he stays behind Willows. It's not really going to help his race. Volker actually is going to the end as well, so it's not exactly helping. But now, McKenzie, who's still leading, but so Ionescu did come out behind him in the end, but he's actually going to pit this lap. So if Gao could get past these guys quick enough, he could still catch up possibly. But Ionescu, I didn't actually realise they were as close as they were. I thought Ionescu was still further in front. as now they're lapping the Force India of Amar Kar, and they finally do lap him. The gal right behind him is now Ionescu is passing, or at least trying to pass Jay McKenzie down the straight, but he needs to be careful because McKenzie is pitting, so right now he's not really, he doesn't really need to battle him. He could just stay behind him, but I think Ionescu is going to try and make a move anyway on the inside, and he does, and he's now up into P1. Now Joseph Willows battling with Miklos Gal, who's just about alongside, but I think he's just behind, but Gal is going to still try and make the move into the hairpin, and the answer is he still doesn't have it done. He's going to stay behind him, coming out of the hairpin there. So it's not helping Gal's race if he wants to get up to Ionescu at all right now. There is Will Nella, who is in 7th place, kind of on his own right now. No danger of getting to anyone, or anyone getting to him anyway. As McKenzie obviously goes into the pits for his final stop for Mercedes. And where does he come back out on the track? He comes out right now, he's in P6. I think he'll come out ahead of Will Nella in P7, as you'll know he doesn't, but McKenzie could easily, I think, still catch him with about 13 laps to go. And McKenzie comes out in P7. Virginia is in 8th right now, Rover's in 9th, and now looking at Lucas Levi in the Marissa coming onto the front straight, going up now over 300 kilometers an hour. And always got a mechanical failure, and it's transmission suspension according to the dashboard. And Lucas Levi is going to retire from this race, so that is both Virgin drivers out of the Grand Prix. So that is the, I think that is, I believe, it's the 5th retirement of the race. As now McKenzie is lapping the Williams there of Rilla Boyton, who's actually getting fairly close already to Will Nella in front of him. As now it looks like a battle between the two Ferraris, I think. Currently, right now Volker is still in 2nd place. As now a battle between the two Ferraris as Kuba's alongside Willows. So they're coming into the left hand and now coming onto the back straight, coming through turn 13. And is Kuba now going to have a go at Willows down the front straight? I don't know if there's any T-Wars at Ferrari, I'm not sure. It's side by side. And is Kuba going to have the move done on Willows? He is well alongside, and surely he's going to have this move complete coming into the hairpin. And it's side by side, and Kuba does have it done. Nearly contact, they got away with it. And now Willows is up into 5th position, is down I should say, into 5th position. Kuba is now up into 4th position. As we look again at what happened, so he's got a much better run coming out the double left-hander there, and Kuba was really alongside, but Willows was certainly not going to make it easy, that's for sure. And he comes around the inside, but Kuba was always going to have the slipstream coming around turn 13, and he's along, and he had easily the slipstream, and he clearly has got the better tyres on the car. He just goes past those with a lot of ease there, not really very hard for Kuba. Inside over 320 kilometers an hour, just over 200 miles an hour, and makes it stick into the hairpin. So that is Kuba up into 4th position. Willows down into 5th, then as in 6th, McKenzie in 7th. As we're now looking at 2 cars going down the pit straight, as now we're looking at Miklos Gal, who's actually caught up to the back of Volker, so he's in fact dropped behind Volker in the pit stop. So this is 4 positions. We need to hope the Red Bulls don't collide. They've done it before. We do not want to see it done again, as now McKenzie is certainly closing up to the back of Will Nella, who in turn is actually closing up to the back of Joseph Willows in front of him. But now Gal is alongside Volker coming down the back straight, and it looks like he's going to have the move done and dusted coming into turn 14. And surely he's going to have it, unless Gal makes a big mistake or locks up. But he's got it done, so Gal back into 2nd place. And now he's got Ionescu in front, as now Nella has already caught up to Willows and is now attacking the British driver. The two Brits fighting each other coming into the hairpin, and is Nella going to have the move done? And the answer is yes, he is. Excuse me, sorry. Nella now down into the final corner. He's now up in the 5th position. Now McKenzie is going to attack Willows, and he could easily still get Nella as well. And now McKenzie is attacking Willows coming down the front straight, and surely he's going to have this move done into the hairpin. Willows just doesn't really seem to have any pace in that Ferrari car, and he now makes the move into the final corner, or is the final hairpin I should say, as we're now looking at Robert Ionescu, the leader. He's got a 21-second lead. My word, that is enormous. Ahead of Miklos Gal in 2nd place. He's been so comfortable in this race. He took the lead at the first corner from Nella. I mean, the fuel strategies obviously had an effect, but still he took the lead, and he's never really looked back. He's had it comfortably ahead of Michael in this race, as Ionescu is just coming up to turn 5 for the final time, and he's now actually extended to 22 seconds as he comes through turn 5 now, heading towards the fast left and then right-hander as Ionescu is coming through, and Ionescu's got a... No, you can't be serious. Ionescu has got a problem. Incredible scenes on the final lap. Robert Ionescu has got a mechanical problem. Now, is he going to be able to get to the end? Is he going to get round down the long back straight to get to the finish line? What scenes we have at this Chinese Grand Prix. Surely the gods can't do this to Ionescu. He's dominated this race. This will be his first OC win as the Cation obviously has unlapped himself. And Ionescu, the only good thing for him is he's got a massive lead. So he's coming down the back straight. And so I don't know if Ionescu is going to make it to the end, but he's going at certainly a reduced speed. The Cation going a lot faster down the straight. Michael Scows now obviously closed the gap. He's now down less than 20 seconds. But he's never going to be able to catch Ionescu unless he pulls off. It was a suspension problem on the dashboard, and you can see it's still affecting him now. As you know, transmission and throttle problem, I should say. So he's having problems there, but Ionescu is going to come around the final corner. It looks like he is going to make it to the finish line. Will Nella's out! His teammate is out! Both Lotus systems suffered problems on the last lap. Ionescu has come across the line to win his first ever OC race. My word. And I don't believe how he's got away with that, but Will Nella hasn't. Oh my word. I don't know what to say. I really don't know what to say. Will Nella, who's running in 6th place. And what problem did he have? And that was coming towards the final sector of the lap. So a bit later on than where Ionescu had his problem. And what was the problem that caused Will Nella to retire from this? It was a transmission problem. It's the same thing that came up on the dashboard for Robert Ionescu. Oh my goodness gracious. Wow, I don't know what to say. And my god, imagine if that was Robert Ionescu, he'd be fuming under that helmet, although Will Nella will be, considering the fact that he was second. So Volker comes across the line in third. Miklos Gal does just beat him for second. Oliver Glazebrook takes the last point spot in 10th. KIROSHIMA DIROSSA comes home in 11th position. Wayskewer comes home and takes 4th position. Then McKenzie will come across the line and take 5th. Joseph Wilson will now move up into 6th position. And so that's that. And William Duncan now comes across the line into 12th. So not a great race from William Duncan there. So no points once again. Robert Roda Moichin. I mean, I'm struggling to say any words right now because I mean I have been struggling throughout this commentary. But at the end of the race, I'm just lost for words, honestly, for what has just happened. But Roda Moichin now comes across the line in 13th position. Omar Carr comes across the line in 14th place, and George Roach is just going to come across the line in 7th, with Vedran Vedrina come across in 8th. Roman Quark to come across the line in 16th, and there's Ionescu actually pulling off to the side of the track with his problems, and there it is. So it looks like transmission and throttle, and Ionescu pulls off and goes into the wall. So I don't know how he's going to get to the podium to celebrate, but his car breaks down on the final lap. So there is your winner. I mean, I imagine he'll still be pretty happy, but I don't know what he's feeling right now. But I think the main thing is the fact that he has won his first OC race, so congratulations to him. But that is certainly not exactly the way that he would have wanted to have done that. But anyway, here is your race results. So Robert Ionescu wins from Miklos Gau in 2nd, Florian Volker in 3rd, Wade Cooper 4th, Jamie Kenzie 5th, Josie Willis 6th, George Rogan 7th, Vedran Virginia in 8th, Will Nella 9th, and Oliver Glazebrook completing the points in 10th, with Nella and Glazebrook the ones in the top 10 being a lap down. The fastest lap was set by Robert Ionescu with a 1:32.8, proving the pace of the Lotus car. Well, for Ionescu anyway, not exactly for Nella. That one stop didn't do him justice at all. As now we're looking at the rest of the results. So in 11th was DIROSSA, 12th William Duncan, 13th Moichin, 14th Carr, 15th Quarg, 16th Fitzwater, with Lucas Levi, Viggo Holst, Rick Jan, Franco Gamba, Ricky Parker-Zane and David Greenwood not finishing this race. So now, as we have seen the race results, we will now have a look at the points and the constructor standings after a incredibly dramatic Chinese Grand Prix. I don't think I've ever seen that before happen in the OC, certainly not. But here are your points. Mingles Gal leads by 3 points from Waste Cooper in second with 52, Rory Discu third with 49, and a massive gap, 23 points to George Roke in fourth place, with Mackenzie in fifth, Willows in sixth, Volker in seventh, Nella in 8th, Park in 9th, with DIROSSA in 10th. 11th is Gamba, 12th Madrina, 13th Glazebrook, 14th Carr, 15th Quag, 16th Fitzwater, Duncan, Moyton, Jan, Levi, Greenwood, and Holst, the ones who scored no points. So those are the point standings after the Chinese Grand Prix. So now we will have a look at what the constructor standings will be. And I imagine it will probably be either Red Bull or maybe Lotus, I think, leading. I imagine it'll probably be Red Bull that leading the constructor standings. So we'll have a look in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and come on. Oh, okay, I did a bit too early, but there we go, finally. So actually it's Ferrari who are leading the constructors. So quite surprising, to be fair, although I guess Cooper did win the first round. But anyway, here are the constructors. So Ferrari with 74 points, second are Red Bull with 70, Lotus third with 63, Mercedes fourth with 51, a huge gap to Sauber in fifth with 16, Force India sixth with 13, seventh Toro Rosso with 8, same points as McLaren in 8th, 9th is Williams, Caterham and Marussia, both those two teams as well as Williams have scored no points so far this season. Well, that has been an amazing Chinese Grand Prix. Definitely one of the best we've seen and one of the best this season. I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to vote as usual for your driver of the day and give the racing rating out of 10. Thanks for watching, guys. I apologise for some of my coughing and whatnot. Unfortunately, this weather outside is just too hot for me. Anyway, thanks for watching, everyone, and we will see you for the next round of the series, the Bahrain Grand Prix at the Bahrain Circuit. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.